Hi, welcome and thank you so much for being here today. I hope you're having a gorgeous day or night. We're gonna get you some clarity. I did bring this raw deck of cards out here. I can't even show all these cards on YouTube, but I don't know. I feel like maybe we need to tap into some raw truth today. So let's see what comes through. This reading is timeless and collective. See what feels like it resonates, and always follow and trust the divine guidance in you, to your higher self, to God, to source, to the universe, because the answer's in you. And try to make balanced decisions between logic and intuition so that your decisions are sound. They're based in love for the highest and greatest good of everyone. So we're all uplifted in love. Bear with me in the beginning here. I gotta see, sometimes I need to even meditate on these cards, but let's just pull a few and see how they connect. Let's see what God, source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, our higher selves, angels and energies of love, for the highest, greatest good of all. Tell us what's going on. Well, we're getting the inside scoop here, so let's continue on and see what this inside scoop is. Maybe somebody, maybe this is something you need to take a closer look at. This could also be a nosy energy all up in your beeswax and sticking their nose where they do not belong. So maybe this is somebody who thinks they know it all, but doesn't know as much as much of the inside story as they think they do. What else? What else would be helpful to know? You have this energy of wasting time. Something's not changing. You feel like something's limited. There's this stuck energy. I don't know. I feel like somebody was like stuck inside a loop. Maybe that's a karmic cycle. You know, when you argue with somebody and you feel like, do we just go in circles? I'm getting that kind of energy. It's like I don't know why I see an argument, but even maybe just, you know, trying to hear somebody out or get on the same page, that kind of energy. And the person never really hears you, and they keep going around with like their big point they need to make, but they don't ever hear anything else. I feel like somebody feels like they're just going in circles and not getting anywhere, or not getting through. It's like arguing with somebody, but feels like a one-sided conversation. That's kind of what I get. What else? There's also somebody that wants you back. Maybe they felt like a conversation with you was more exciting. I feel like there was more movement. It was more like a flowing thing instead of lost in the cyclone, or, you know, where the current just keeps going around and around. So there was definitely somebody that, maybe also somebody is nosy because they feel like you've moved on, or you haven't seen somebody in a little while and they want to know what's going on with you. You know, are you still interested? Have you moved on? If for some of you that's not an ex, or it's not a love, you know, romantic situation, maybe there's an old friend that misses you. Maybe they moved away, or maybe you did have an argument. Maybe somebody feels like they've wasted a lot of time, and time with you was always more valuable, more fun. There's definitely somebody that wants you back. They want to be back in your presence, back in your energy. I hear back in your good graces. Maybe you did get an argument with someone. Or maybe you even felt like you were, I don't know why I see somebody, I don't feel like it's you. I feel like somebody felt backed into a corner or something like that. They spent too much, I don't know why I just saw like somebody with like the dunce cap on. That's so old. Maybe somebody feels kind of like a dumbass, or they made a mistake, or they got themselves into a corner and stayed there for too long. Maybe somebody has to turn the corner and look at something through a different angle. Let's get one more, and then we'll clarify with something else. Clarify the inside scoop. Wants you back and wasting time. You have this energy of groupie, which is really weird. Maybe somebody wasted time with their groupies, you know, with their friends, but I'm not getting that these are people that knew somebody really well. It's like, you know, being around the cool kids. It's like somebody that just wanted to be on the tour bus, but didn't really want to get to know the band members. Kind of what I'm getting. So maybe somebody was surrounded by people because they were very complimentative. Is that a word? You know, feeding them compliments. I don't know. I feel like this is a big group of people that somebody was listening to their opinions, but maybe shouldn't have. Maybe for some of you, you have somebody that, you know, is kind of like your fan, but they want to get to know you more. But I feel like if somebody wants you back, they got to know you. I don't feel like it was this just like outside here, let's take a selfie energy. I feel like this is somebody who cares about social media a lot. And I kind of feel like this groupie energy is in a situation, whether these are people that you know or this is connected to somebody important to you. Maybe this is groupie energy that wants the inside scoop, and that's why they want to be on the tour bus. I still feel like they're always kind of on the outside. There's something about somebody trying too hard or trying too hard to impress. You know, I'm getting that energy where somebody, I think there's a duck up there. There's 2 ducks up there. And she's in her rubber ducky floaty. Oh my gosh. I hope they come up here. Maybe they're going to think this is their family member. Oh my gosh, please come up here, duckies. That would be so funny. I would love that for this video. They're playing though. That's actually kind of cute. I feel like they're fishing. So anyway, groupie, whoever that is, I feel like somebody cared a lot about what other people think. It's like they're taking all those selfies, but it's like a big setup. It kind of feels artificial. Like, look at, I'm besties with this celebrity. And it's like, no, they just like agreed to take a picture with you. So there's something where I'm getting this different energy, where maybe the person that wants you back, you really knew who they were, you saw their soul, whether that's a friend, you know, somebody stopped spending time with you to go to the cool kids and, I don't know, wasted a lot of time in the wrong partnerships or non-relationships or relationships or whatever is going on here. But I'm kind of getting a superficial energy and a depth energy. And I feel like that depth energy is you. So let's go to something different. I'm going to grab a different deck. And no, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn this video off. And I'm going to get those ducks so I can put it at the end of this video because they're swimming this way. And then I'm going to turn it back on and we're going to continue this. All right, hold on. I'm so excited. I just got such a good video. You can see that Rose has noticed that the ducks are in there. They're totally playing in the water. I don't know what the species or the type of duck is. It's the ones with the red heads. Maybe a redhead. So I brought this tarot. Let's go right to the tarot and clarify all of these specifically for you. What is this? It's called the Life's Journey Tarot cards. They're a little different. I've only used them maybe once or twice. But I like to bring different decks down because they give me different messages. So let's go to the tarot. Let's clarify the inside scoop. Closer look, nosy, up in your business. For some of you, I'm getting you're gonna have to tell someone to take a hike. I'm also getting there's something about your reaction that matters. Maybe somebody wanted a reaction and you don't give it to them. I also feel like there's something with you having a lot of confidence. Maybe that's why somebody is, I just heard confused or interested in you. You can't choose how people act, but you can be empowered by your reaction. So I feel like there's something about that being really important here. So clarify the closer look. It could just be that you're kind of curious about somebody. Maybe this is even just you asking the right questions. Not wasting time by going in circles, but maybe just going directly to the horse's mouth or ask the question you actually want to ask. I just heard the direct approach is best. So let's get a clarity card. Clarify this. The King of Cups. I like that it's a feminine energy here and she's like on a podium. So maybe there is something about you speaking up. The King of Cups is somebody that feels a lot, but they know when to be emotional and when it's not appropriate timing. It's not that they're not emotional inside. They're always feeling a lot, but they're very mature with when they let it out. Like, I feel like the King of Cups is not somebody who, you know, lets out the beans of all their breakup or everything that happened to them to just anybody. But if they're in a position where they find that information could be helpful for someone, or if it's maybe the direct person that they are involved with, that is where they should be vulnerable and open up to. There's something with you, I don't know, she's smiling. There's also something where you do have people interested in you, or whoever this is. Maybe it's about hearing it from the person directly rather than indirectly, since you have somebody here trying to get the inside scoop. So maybe you don't talk to this person after that, you know. So I feel like one of these people could be talking to somebody else and be like, listen to the speech I just had, or this person had the best story, but that person's only getting part of it by hearsay. You know, even if that person has a lot of enthusiasm talking about that subject, they're not hearing the direct inflections, humor, energy of the actual person that was speaking. So there is something about hearing something more directly, so it's understood more. If it's upside down, if the King of Cups is upside down, it's somebody who pretends to have this emotional maturity, or kind of pretends that they're, you know, really tapped into intuition and they follow their heart, and then they go logical, or they don't listen to the signs that they're given by the divine. They question things too much, or they have all this emotion inside and they don't let it out. They keep it to themselves. I always feel like it's that like buildup of energy that's inside of somebody, and they like push it down, like ignore it. It's not there. Those emotions are too big or too weird. How do you, I'm getting even like, how do you describe what it is they're feeling? So they pretend it's not there. And I feel like the King of Cups can be kind of cold, upside down, not upright, kind of cold, because it's like they're going against the grain of their inner compass or something like that. So let's see what the energy of whoever wants you back is. Tell us about who wants you back. I keep hearing that song. Whatever I said, whatever I did, I didn't mean it. I just want you back for good. It's like, take that. That's like, I just hear it over and over. I want you back for good. Whenever I'm wrong, just tell me the song and I'll sing it. You'll be right and understood. I know that's come through in another reading before. Tell us about the energy of who wants the collected back. Somebody wants a new start with you. Holy moly, what's going on here? Somebody's ready to take a leap of faith. Somebody wants to really dive into maybe new emotions. I'm going to go back a little because I just got another message. For some of you, you could be dealing with a King of Cups that needs to like really speak their truth about how they feel, maybe about you. But I'm getting with that King of Cups, it could be somebody that, because they feel a lot, they don't want to hurt somebody usually, if that's a, you know, a mature King of Cups. But if somebody is always trying to protect somebody's feelings because they don't want to hurt their feelings, but if that's not in, you know, in sync with their inner truth, so they're pushing their own feelings down, always trying to make somebody else feel better, I feel like maybe that took a turn in the wrong direction, or that's starting to make this King of Cups really uncomfortable, or even drag something out where it would be way less uncomfortable if they had only just spoken the truth in the beginning. And I'm kind of getting that that could be that this King of Cups maybe doesn't feel the same way towards somebody, or feel the same way anymore about somebody. But I don't know, they don't want to come across as being like the bad person or being seen bad, because you do have this groupie energy here. Maybe it's somebody who cares about how they are perceived or seen. It's always better to just be authentic. Feelings change, situations change, relationships change. You're not going to always be able to appease or please everyone. So living your truth is so much easier. So if somebody is now, let's move forward, because I feel like that was an extra message. Somebody's looking at you with this energy of maybe they wish they dove in sooner. Maybe now somebody's ready to take that leap. It takes a lot of strength to go into that full energy because it's a big beginning. You're back to zero. You're starting all over again. You went through a huge cycle. Your whole world changes, after you get to the world. You're entering a new world. You don't really know what's going to happen. So you have to have that wide-eyed sense of, here we go. Don't know what it's going to be, but it's somebody that is definitely seeing something from an elevated perspective. They're looking at that landscape below them and they want to explore it, but they got to figure out a way down that mountain. It is also recognizing, I feel like with that zero and the Fool, I feel like that zero is protection or a magnifying glass or a telescope. It's that circle around something where you are protected in this new journey. But it's also recognizing that if somebody wants you back and that doesn't feel like a leap of faith you want to take, or if it doesn't feel like somebody is all in or you're not all in, then you need to use your discernment and see how you feel about that situation. If somebody's taking a leap of faith towards you, but then you're not involved in what's going to happen after that initial step, then I feel like you need to somehow be involved in these plans if somebody wants you back. Also, if you are hoping that somebody comes back and they're never taking that leap to just tell you, how are you going to know? Maybe you're the one that took this leap of faith in a different direction and you've moved on. Whether they want you back or more, how long are you going to wait for that brand new start? Or for somebody to mature with their emotions or follow their inner guidance or express their feelings to you. If you're always just kind of on the threshold or on the edge of something, but never feel like you're able to tap into that new grounded territory. I feel like some of you have taken this approach where you're just, I feel like, I don't know, you're going your own way, you're doing your own thing, you're ready for new energy, you're ready for a new cycle, you don't want to repeat any karmic patterns. It's doing something totally different than you've done it before, but leaving openness to discovering what you don't know. You don't want to be a complete dumbass if something doesn't feel right. You have to have learned in that old cycle that you went through where there's a red flag, what you did a certain way in the past that maybe, I don't know, got you off path, or I don't know, it's just like you don't want to repeat a pattern on anything that you should have learned from. And that's how the Fool has that strength. That's how the Fool goes into new territory, but changed and different and grown and evolving. It's not saying you're never going to mess up again. 'Tis life. But do you learn after the mess ups, or do you have them overwhelm you, or you get stalled or stuck or pulled back into past patterns? That was a lot. All right, let's ask about the wasted time. Why is somebody wasting time? What was all this time wasted about? Why did somebody feel stuck? Why were their thoughts limited? Why was somebody maybe in the comfort zone for a long time? Or why was somebody sticking around energies that maybe were just superficial? A fish just jumped. Let's see, clarify wasted time or wasting time. The Three of Wands, wasting time getting off, getting out of the, I always see this as somebody getting out of the comfort zone, leaving the kingdom, getting up from the couch, getting up from the desk, going out into that brand new territory that they've been thinking about for a long time, had that energy or that sparkle in their soul, that urge to do something, that urge to move, because that's that masculine, fiery energy. And then they made the plans and they packed their bag and they never made it to the damn airport. It's like, oh no, I'm gonna be late. I'm gonna probably miss the plane. There's gonna be traffic. I guess I'm gonna just turn around and go home to what I know. That's like, no, get yourself on a, what do they call that? Like a, not a layover. I don't know, whenever the next plane comes, like get yourself on the next plane and get out there to that unknown territory. Expand, have an adventure, You know, it's where you have to be a little creative along that path, because it's a 3. Sometimes something happens and the weather gets weird, or the situation gets rough, and you have to make a rain date. You have to change and adapt your plan so something can continue to expand and grow. Sometimes it doesn't work out the first time, but if somebody had all of these plans, these dreams, the ticket was in their hand, you know, the itinerary, I don't know why I see something like going on vacation, you know, like they had the whole book on that country on where to go. They're starting to learn that language. Everything was going right, and then outside circumstances happened, or they became a coward or a fool and decided, nah, change is weird. I don't know if I'm ready for that leap. And then that never happened. And then that's the person that sits there waiting for something to change, but not taking the action to help it. You know, it's somebody that it's telling you to do something interesting, because I see this as active waiting, which you got it on the clock. That actually makes sense. So sometimes I see the 3 of Wands, like, all right, so let's just say you are waiting for somebody to take a leap of faith or express their emotions, or maybe a change in dynamic of the people around you. And if this is, you know, having to do with outside free will or circumstances, and you feel like, man, you know, something has to change, or you know that person wants you back, but where are they? And you've been put on hold. This is doing something active and inspiring with your energy, with what you are in control over right now while you're waiting. Because sometimes it is waiting. Sometimes you wait. You know, it's an aspect of life. So if you are waiting, what can you do with your energy in the meantime to make that, to make yourself more productive? You know, to tap into a project. You got some time to wait. You know, it's like you're going somewhere. Maybe you need to catch up on I see somebody traveling. So maybe you didn't get enough sleep. So take a nap. You know, maybe you have a big presentation coming up, so you're sitting on the bus. Maybe you do some extra notes. You know, maybe you have some time to kill, so you knit a blanket. But the upside down version of that for me is never, it's kind of like you're stalling on something that should be expanding. You're contracting instead of growing. It's like, you know, something's coming, right? You send something, you hit Amazon. You said, hey, you know, I'm expecting this. Now you know where I got this. This clear rubber ducky floaty from my dog. And it's going to come in 2 days. And it's like, oh, you get all scared. You're like, but what if the mailman comes sooner? What if the mailman comes in the middle of the night and I miss it, and somebody takes the rubber duck off of, you know, off of the porch, you know? So you sit out there and you park the lawn chair down and you don't do anything with that time. You're like, you're just like on it, all in anxiety. Like, it's coming. If it's late, you're going to get the notification. You can pick it up. If it comes and it's broken, you know, you have to be able to be adaptable. You take it back, you get a different one. 'Tis life. But it's getting so overwhelmed with something not wrapping up right or working out right, or you're getting ahead of yourself for something that is going to come in. It's when your rubber ducky comes in, your ship is coming. What are you doing in the process of that journey? Because now it's the journey. You left the one horizon, you're not quite at the other one yet. So what are you doing with yourself in that meantime? Maybe you're in the one side and somebody has to make their way towards you. Maybe you're the one heading towards someone else. Maybe you don't even know what's over there. Since you have the Fool, you don't know what's on the other side of that horizon, that land, that territory, that partnership, that project, that new you when you get there. You know, so you kind of have to be open. Let's ask about the groupie. Clarify the groupie energy. I don't necessarily get all that with this, but I kind of feel, I just heard a click. Maybe there is a clique of people. Maybe they all know each other really well, but you don't really know them. It's giving me kind of like the 3 of Cups energy, which can be amazing. That can be a really good time, you know, going out with your friends. And maybe that's not just for show. Maybe they're like, hey, this is our moment. You know, ladies, guys, let's take this picture. I want to remember this forever because you guys are amazing. Maybe it is that beautiful energy of, you know, a party, a gathering, a good group of individuals where they all support one another. But if that is the upside down energy, that's like the mean girls and mean boys. Nobody around the other people for the right reasons. Clarify groupie. Why is that here? Please and thank you. Four of Wands. Eight of Swords. The Four of Wands is so beautiful. Usually that's the dance under the gazebo. That's a divine partnership. That's feeling so thankful, so much gratitude for those moments of your life that you got to have, that you said, thank God I said yes to that dance. Thank God I said yes to myself. You know, that project you've always wanted to work on, that thing that brings you joy. Thank God you said yes to sitting down and looking at the most beautiful sunrise or sunset you've ever seen in your life, instead of having, you know, I don't know, I felt like somebody was in a race and they're like, no, the sunset is way more beautiful than the trophy at the end of the race. The Four of Wands is gorgeous. If it's here, it's somebody that didn't say yes to a beautiful moment, or wasted too much of their energy with moments they didn't truly value, that weren't the real beautiful snapshots of their life they want to look back at. If this came through with the groupie energy, I think it's paying attention to the people around you. For some of you, maybe it is leaving a group and doing something just on your own where you feel an energy, I'm getting, of inner peace. Because if you have the Eight of Swords at the bottom, look at this person. She looks kind of cute, actually. I like her little cowboy hat and her little shirt. But if she's sitting there with, I don't know, a calculator, her credit card, she's laying on a bunch of money, which is really weird for the Eight of Swords. Maybe somebody was overly concerned about money, or maybe that's that superficial energy here. Maybe that superficial energy is why someone was stuck in their head. You know, how are they going to go out with the cool kids if they don't have the Louis Vuitton shoes? You know, or how are they going to, you know, really hold their own to show and prove, you know, how far they've come in their career if they don't have the hot car? I feel like this person kind of doesn't care. They're like, I got my walking stick. Who needs a Lamborghini? You know, who needs the Hummer? Look at this sunset. I feel like this person is, I don't know, maybe somebody is also overwhelmed with finances or bills, but it feels like that, I don't know, there's something about it plastic. I'm getting like, it's the plastic, it's the paper money. There's something about the value changing, because this is the value of the experiences of life, the value of your soul, the value of your spirit, the value of your life, and that we are not guaranteed time. The value of truly moving with and following the depth of your heart and how you really feel about yourself, about a certain person, about what you're working on, and where you put your attention and your time with. If this is all about the plastic stuff, I feel like that's building up a lot of pressure on someone, and somebody has to think about how to get out of their mental, I'm getting their mental prison. Because usually the Eight of Swords is where somebody is, they feel tied down, they feel backed into a corner, they feel overwhelmed, like they're stuck and they can't get out, there's no way through, but then they're going around and around and around in circles in their mind, instead of looking for a way that's different, you know, a way around a situation. It's somebody that just believes they're stuck. They're not. Maybe this is also somebody that believes they're stuck because that's what they were told. You can't move, or that's not the way to do it, or there's never going to be a way through, or you can't handle that. Yes, there's always a solution. Maybe if somebody's having, you know, trouble with finances, you ask somebody else that knows something more about finances to help you out. You go and search for that information to be helpful, rather than just giving up. Be like, I might as well not pay anything because I don't know how to do it anyway. You know, this is somebody who needs to think about their situation, whatever it is, different. And I'm only saying finances here because very specifically that's in this card. Maybe there's somebody that's an overspender, like has kind of a maybe like a little shopping addiction, or tries to fill in voids with things. That's not that Four of Swords energy. I mean, the Four of Rods. The Four of Rods is, even if you have cool things, is because they bring enjoyment, because they bring fulfillment. Things are fine. You know, like you could have something, I don't know why I'm definitely getting different energies. I knew I got different messages with these cards and I wasn't sure why. So sometimes I get a deck of cards, I don't even look through them so that I'm like that fool, kind of raw and real with whatever comes through. But I'm kind of getting that it's the difference between having the toys that you play with and the toys that you talk about energy. You know, let's just go wave runners, right? You're like, oh, I would really like a wave runner. It would be like her on the ducky, but you know, it actually has the engine on it. It'd be the one that be like, oh yeah, I got like 5 wave runners, you know, they're all kinds of colors, and I put them on my lake or I dig them out in the ocean or whatever, and then they never take them out of the garage. They just want them to talk about them. They don't even really like them. It was just the new coolest thing to get at the time, or all their friends have them, so they thought they have to have it too. But, you know, secretly they probably just want to, I don't know, I see somebody just like want to fish in a little rowboat and be by themselves, you know, I don't know, chillaxing on the creek or chillaxing on the lake. And it's like, that's the difference between the one that's like, oh man, my whole life, like I always saw those wave runners. I don't know why I see wave runners. That must be important for some of you. But like, they're like, oh man, I don't even know if I have the finances. I don't know if I could have it. How would it happen? Well, maybe you don't. But maybe you go and you're like, you know what? Twice in the summer, or when I go on vacation, I'm booking a wave runner outing. I might not be able to own one, but I'm going to save up my money because I know that experience that I've been dreaming about would be so exciting. And I'm going to take all of these pictures and I'm going to have this story to talk about. It's going to be the most amazing thing ever. I'm just going to leap in. Or maybe it's somebody that really does want to own them. And they're like, I don't know if I can really own it. You know, it's a lot, but maybe you save up. And you're like, no, that's my dream. I don't care how. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to get out of my head and figure out a way. Maybe your friend has a lake. Hey, I know you got a lake. You can use my wave runner when you want. I don't really own a lake, but I really want to go out on that wave runner. Can I dock it on your, you know, at your dock? You know, and it's like you figure out a way to make it work. And it's like the one that talks about it because they really love it. It's like the most exciting thing. And they think back at their life and like their snapshots of the most amazing parts of their life were on that wave runner. Then that thing, that toy is worth it because it brought you joy. You know, and sometimes that thing is not a thing. Sometimes it's a relationship. Sometimes it's a project. Sometimes it's a specific person. Maybe it's not even about what you do or, you know, what it's about material wise, but it's about who you do it with. So whether you're fishing, whether you're swinging on a hammock with a certain person and you're reading a book to each other, or you're making each other coffee, or you're going grocery shopping, or whatever it is, those are the moments that are the ones you're so grateful for because of who you're with. That was a lot. I felt like all amped up at this reading. Oh my goodness. Except for Rose, she's just chilling here. I like, by the way, can I just say, I love how they gave her the ducky with another, she has another lay. Considering that's how the flamingo died. She gave that flamingo a humping, so they knew she needed to be laid. Oh my God, I'm so weird. Let's keep going. So 8 of Swords, you have to switch something around. You have to think about something a different way. You know, if you believe you're stuck, you will be. If you're like, I know I'm stuck right now. I know things are weird now, but I will find a solution. This is gonna happen. Then you will. You know, if this is you believing you're stuck in a situation because somebody else is tying you up, you need to untie yourself, untether yourself from that situation. Step into your own personal empowerment and how you really feel. Speak up, speak your truth, and I don't know, I feel like you have plans with that 3 of Wands. I feel like you have plans you've been thinking about for a while and maybe never took action. Maybe now's the time to take action. For some of you, you have to throw your plans out the window because circumstances have changed, and you have to be willing to be totally flexible and take a leap of faith, maybe into the unknown, or maybe into an opportunity, a partnership, a relationship, an experience when it presents itself. And just give something a try. You're never gonna know unless you try. Wow. I'm not sure what came through, but I feel like this was like pretty powerful energy here. I'm going to put these back so that they don't fall in the creek. I feel like we should end with an archetype, so let me grab that. I did bring my mini deck down here. Rose is like, here you go, we're good. Pull her up here. My rope, she's roped to me. And let me grab the deck, I'll be right back. Along with that adaptable thing, I did bring the mini deck down, but I did not bring the book. So maybe this needs to come through in just in an intuitive interpretation. That's what we're gonna go with today. So what is the archetype energy connecting to the collective right now that would be the most helpful? You got the bridge. So this came through recently. I almost dropped it. So the bridge between heaven and earth, between the hidden realm, the unseen, and grounding that energy on earth. Maybe this is a bridge of energy across, connecting you to somebody else. Maybe part of that journey or part of that leap of faith. Maybe you felt like you were on one mountain and you're like, hello, 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 hello. And somebody over there on that other mountain's like, hello, 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 hello. And you're like, how do I get to you, you? Well, how do I get to you? And I don't know, it's like you found this rainbow bridge across. Maybe it's like, I don't know, I'm getting that leap of faith, almost like a flying energy. I'm also seeing something about your dreams. Maybe pay attention to your dreams if you dream about somebody. I feel like some of you might have some insight that comes through dreams to help you out. Also, both of these people are open to receiving the right energy. I don't know why I just heard One Drop. I love that song, but I don't know where that came from. And then the one drop, and we still got time to rock. Making one stop, the generation gap. It's like a Bob Marley song. It's a weird one. The bridge. Oh, that is one of the messages in there, so maybe I should put that through again. Bridge over troubled water. I feel like there's something with this rainbow where if there was a troubling situation, I feel like that storm is blowing over and something is becoming more calm in your life. I also feel like if you felt there wasn't a way across or a bridge to, or even from, for some of you, that maybe, I don't know, I just thought of The Way now by, what's that, Fastball? You say the way that they walk on is paved in gold. It's always summer, they'll never get cold, never get lonely, never get old and gray. You can see the shadow, they're wandering off somewhere. They won't make it home, but they really don't care. It's happy the highway, it's happier there today. That's a weird song come through. They're like a one-hit wonder. Maybe it's hitting a fastball. Hey, maybe you're getting a little curveball at the end here. Speaking of curveball, should we throw you a curveball? Yeah, let's do it. I'm not gonna grab the whole thing. Let me show you. This is, ooh, I almost lost my cards. This is the bag her floaty came in. So I'm just gonna grab you, just bonus message here at the end that would be helpful. Those ducks are just chilling now. They're like just bobbing like her. Just bobbing like her in the middle of the creek. All right, let's get you just a final. What is a final message for the collective? Please and thank you. Zoom in like I did with the ducks. Maybe you were, zooming out a little too much, and once you find what you need to focus on, you have to focus your attention on something specific. Maybe this is zooming in on a person, zooming in on a clue. It could even be zooming inside of yourself to do some deep reflection. Let's see, what's another one? One more, please, and thank you. I like that, new rules. So whatever your rules were, whatever you had boxed in, whatever you thought had to be your check marks, I feel like you're getting extra categories to get to check in your life that you didn't see before. New rules come when it's a new energy within you, when it's a new partnership or person in your life, when it's a new thing you're doing. If you're going by the rules and they weren't working anymore, you need to revise those rules. You need to add an amendment. You know, you need to be adaptable to something, because there's something where what you set in stone or what you felt was the law. I don't know why the law, but I'm not getting like the law, but the law of you is changing somehow or needs to. New rules. Hey, all right. Those could also be new boundaries that come through new experiences. Oh, and get ready, because something's gonna happen in just a few days. Maybe it's also just a few days that turn everything around. And maybe that has to do with you turning on that horsepower, you know, getting some extra energy inside of you to hit that gas and start to move. Horsepower. I like that. All right, we're going to leave this message here for you. I hope something came through today that was helpful for you and something made sense. I so appreciate you being here with me and Rose. You know, us weirdos in the creek here. And I feel blessed that you are part of our soul family. Thank you for being on this journey together with me. I love you so much, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye. Thank you.